We have so many players who can be credited for doing a lot of good work at Man United, but if there is one player who has consistently stood out of the lot, it is Bruno Fernandes. Through the thick and thin, through the highs and lows, through the easy and difficult games, Bruno has been there. My name is Webb, and this is an appreciation video to our skipper Bruno, El Capitano, El Magnifico, brilliant footballer. Now, listen, I am one of those, and I won't put myself out of it, who have really been critical of Bruno Fernandes at times, even when I actually look back and reflect and say, maybe that wasn't exactly fair. This guy joined Man United in 2020 from Sporting Lisbon. He has played literally every game since he started, except the few where he was either on a card. But Bruno has availed himself, performing and working his legs out, burning his lungs out, running and performing, putting in the hard yards. Even at the weakest or the lowest of lows, Bruno has been the one player who has been trying to put in a fight. And it's clear, we saw it. That is why it wasn't surprising to many that he was named the captain of Manchester United after stripping Harry Maguire of the armband, because here he showed the heart, the desire at a time when everyone else was not showing heart for the club. Bruno played like he had shares in Man United. In fact, many will say Bruno is like another coach, because he feels like if we fail, he has failed. This is a heart we have not been seeing with Man United for a long time. And Bruno has played in position, out of position, scored goals, 151 games played, has scored 48 goals. I cannot even go into how many he has assisted. He has been there through the thick and thin, through the hardest of times, giving it all his best, like a proper Man United player. No wonder legends like Paul Scholes and Gary Neville mentioned it and said that Bruno would have played in any past Manchester United squad, however great they were. Not because he was the most gifted, but because besides the talent, he has got the heart of the club. And that's why Eric Ten Hag, kudos. We may not have seen it at the time, but you indeed made the right decision to choose him as the captain. Now, Bruno, besides being that player who has shown it on the pitch, the other thing that I will credit him for is the fact that his teammates talk about him highly. All young players, all new players, everyone you hear in an interview speak gives credit to Bruno Fernandes and how much they have been helpful to them. I'll give you an example. The most recent is Kobe Maino, who was being interviewed after his first senior call-up with England by that lady in an interview which wasn't really the best of interviews. I mean, you don't get an opportunity to interview Kobe and you ask them some of the questions they were asking him. But Kobe was asked his biggest influences since joining the senior team of Man United. And he mentioned two players, Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. Now, of course, we will know that Casemiro, of course, for his experience and the role that Kobe is growing into, being deployed in now, Casemiro, who better than Casemiro to learn from with his experience? But for Bruno, it is probably more of the talks, the little talks they have. We've seen Bruno and Kobe in conversations more, I think, more times than we've seen any pair of players when they're on the pitch together. They talk. Bruno talks to you and helps you perform and fit in. But also, not only Kobe. You think about players like Amad Diallo. Asked his biggest influence, he mentioned Bruno. You speak about Rasmus Højlund. Asked his biggest influence in an interview, the first interview with Man United, Bruno was in there. Go to who else? Diogo Dalot, when he had just emerged, he spoke about him as well. All these new young players, Garnacho, Lisandro Martinez, all these players speak highly about Bruno because he's available to them. And probably that is why Eric Ten Hag saw him fit to be their leader, because they listen to him, they respect him. But even the staff, Bruno Fernandes is loved by the staff of Man United because he talks to them. He does not feel proud on them. He talks to them. He respects them. That is exactly the mark of a player who is humble, a player who is disciplined. He will greet everyone from the moment he steps into Carrington or Old Trafford. He will greet everyone regardless of who you are, whether you're a player, a footballer, a cleaner, whoever you are. Bruno Fernandes will respect you and he will talk to you. That's love, and that's why he's loved at Man United. And I'll tell you, even for me, if you do recall, and I'm trying to get that image for you, I can probably get that image for you of Bruno Fernandes getting me in his Bentley, picking the phone from me, and using it to take a selfie with me. Now, those few moments I was around him just showed me why he's the captain. The smile he gave just showed me why he's the captain of Man United. How humble can you be as a footballer? How humble can you be as the captain of the biggest football club in the world? He stops. He's the one player who doesn't leave guys waiting for autographs outside Carrington or Old Trafford. He will always come and stop and attend to them. Look at that. That was inside his car. Imagine this guy he doesn't know comes to have just have a small moment with him. He picks up the phone, adjusts the settings himself, and takes a selfie with an honest smile. Look at that smile. That's the captain. Why not give credit to such a person? Now, of course, has he had bad days where the games have not come? Yes, he has. Like all of us, even at work, even for you, you don't have only good days. Even God, the God we serve, did not promise us only good days in life. No, the hard times will come, but even through the hard times, you show that you believe in Him, believe in what you do. You're working hard, you're putting in the best, you're supporting your teammates, you're trying to lift everyone up. We saw him play center back for 30 minutes and he was happy about it. This is the captain we talk about. These are the players who will form the attitude that we want to build in the new United. This is the kind of attitude we want players to draw from. This is the kind of seniority we need in Man United. These are the examples we need in Man United. So whereas Bruno has had a few bad games, has put a few feet wrong, we can go into the comparisons, compare him to Odegaard, compare him to whichever players you want to compare him to, Kevin De Bruyne. We can do all that, but Bruno is different. He's special. That besides his playing, he's there for his teammates, he's there for the fans, he's there for the staff. He has got the heart of the club, the desire, the will. He loves Man United. You can see it. And I think, and this is for me an honest prediction, I think Bruno is already showing characters and attributes of someone who can be a good, successful manager, football manager, when he retires. Now, of course, he's only 29 and it's early days to talk about retirement, but I think Bruno can ably follow in the footsteps of Michael Carrick, of Jabi Alonso, all these great players who became managers because of the personality. He has got it, and trust you me, he will do it if he chooses to go that way. But it's probably a natural instinct. It's probably a natural instinct for him. These things come natural. That's why we all complain that he mourns a lot. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer himself was telling us recently that the only thing with Bruno is he's too passionate. Now, too much of anything can be bad, but I don't think the too much passion and the few bad things he does the morning can supersede, or we should let it supersede the good he does on the pitch, the fight he puts on, but also the way he supports everyone around him. So for me, whereas yes, it gets a little too much at times for a captain and it looks ugly on him, I don't think it's reason for us not to appreciate the good deeds he does as Manchester United captain. So with that said, I want to end it by again saying thank you so much, Bruno, for your humility, for being a good person. You clearly can see he's a good person, for loving the club, for being passionate, supporting everyone around you, communicating to the fans, being respectful to the fans, and of course, thank you for giving me one of my most memorable pictures. I don't take pictures. People who know me, I'm not for pictures, not for selfies. I'm not starstruck. But that picture right there should be one of my most memorable ones as a person. My name is Webb. This is the United Hotspot. That was an appreciation video for the captain, Bruno Fernandes.